Hi, how's everybody tonight? Happy Wednesday to you all. It's good to be back again doing a live stream. Good to be back. I'm Ryan, the creator, producer, filmmaker for Tales of Valhalla, the Aftermath Chronicles. It's great. Good times. So recovering from the surgery well. I guess I'll be talking about that a little bit tonight while we edit through this video, as we edit through episode 4. I got most of the voiceover audios done, edited. There is a segment that involves a character that I need a voice actor to do some voice acting work. They haven't done it yet, but I still have like 99% of everything that I need to start laying down video tracks. So that's what I'm currently doing, and that's what we'll do tonight while I talk through what has been going on the past month, really, with my surgery. And I'm going to just talk about the surgery and everything that has happened. I think I said before that the surgery, like the recovery from surgery, was only going to take 4 to 5 days. Boy, was I wrong. It's been taking a lot. It's been taking 3-4 times as long than just less than a week. It was some pretty rough stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So just getting started. Here's the layout for the video for this episode. This is episode 4 of season 3 of Tales of Valhalla, and so you got Mariko here, you got Johnny Sullivan, you got Kelda. So it's like episode 3, we didn't see these guys because they're doing some traveling, and now we get to see what they're up to. This runs roughly about 8-9 minutes this episode. I'm sure that there's going to be tweaks going to be made, so that's just a rough estimate on how long this episode is going to be. We'll see. It's going to take some time because there's a lot more special effects because there is a battle scene. It's one of these battle scenes that involves almost 100 miniatures. At least 50 to 100 miniatures. There's a battle scene in here in episode 4. Look forward to it. And when I start laying it down, we start going through the special effects in a week or two. That will be fun. So how about, okay, when I cut through this, how about I start talking more about the hospital stay rather than this episode, because I think that's what the people want to hear is what happened exactly. Well, okay, so let me lay down a little bit. So I had my surgery on October 18th. Got in there early in the morning and got the surgery done, and what they did was they removed all that was left of my large intestine, because I had a portion of my large intestine removed about like 5 years ago. And so they removed the rest of it, removed my rectum. They sealed up my behind, if you know what I mean. Yes, they sealed everything up back there. And then stuck out the end of my small intestine to create a stoma, and that created the ostomy, that's where everything comes out now. So I'm a permanent ostomy person now. So I had basically 3 major surgical procedures in one, and that really affected the nerves in my torso, the nerves in the muscle in my torso. It just was awful. And I had like a drain coming out of my rear end, like drain tubes coming out of my rear end, as well as a drain tube coming out of the side of my belly. That one hurt a lot, to where everything hurt so bad that when I came out of anesthesia from the surgical procedure, I guess they gave me like additional stuff to knock me out more because I just wasn't feeling good, and I don't remember that part. And I remember a little bit when they were asking me to transfer to another hospital bed. They're like, can you move over here? And I'm like, I tested out that hypothesis of me moving by just moving my ankle, which wasn't touched during the surgery, but I just tried moving my ankle and my leg, and that hurt. And I'm just like, no, there's no way I'm going to be moving here. Someone's going to have to move me. And I was like kind of in darkness. I didn't even know who was around me, but I just remember saying, you're going to have to move me. I cannot move. No, I'm not going to do it. It hurts way too much. And I guess my wife was there, and it was actually, I was already in my hospital room, and the nurses had no idea. There was some bad, kind of off miscommunication because the nurses didn't know what I was coming out from. And so they expected me to move over, and I'm just like, I can't do it. And so it took like 4 or 5 nurses actually to get in my room to move me over, because they didn't really have anybody to do it, which, like I said, kind of bad, poor communication within this hospital. Of course, with that COVID and everything going on, they are kind of short-staffed. It's a really interesting situation, but eventually they got me moved over, and my wife kind of knew that it was going to take longer than 4 to 5 days until I was going to be completely be recovered enough to go home. She kind of figured that out pretty fast. It took me a little bit longer to figure that out, but it didn't take long to figure out that it's like after a couple of days when I could barely move in my bed. Yeah, no, it was going to take some time. I ended up staying there 2 weeks and 2 days, almost half a month. So that's kind of the short of it when it comes to a hospital stay now. I will say that this hospital in Kentucky is kind of like a college hospital. So with the doctors, there were also like students, as well as like students who were like I had the main surgeon working on me, but there was also like an assistant, or I don't know, I forget what it's called when I think whenever like a doctor's training is like kind of in practice but not in practice. Anyway, he was kind of like leading everything, and he would bring like nearly every morning between like 5 and 7. He would come in, and following him was a train of at least 5 to 10 students. Because I was such an interesting specimen of patient, I guess. It's just interesting for the students to see, okay, this is how this patient's recovering. This young fellow, which I'm almost 40 years old. This guy was probably like in his young 20s, like between 20 and 25, resident. That's the word. This guy was probably a resident practicing, resident surgeon under the wings of the head surgeon of this hospital, who primarily operated on me, and I think he probably assisted. This resident surgeon, you usually like see me every morning, and he'd be like, "Hello, Mr. Wilkie, how are you doing?" So very professional, and he was actually very melancholy, serious guy. He was always constantly thinking about the bottom line, and which was good. That's what he should be doing, his job. And this resident surgeon, this isn't his name, but let's just call him Bob. Nearly every morning, since I had incisions and sealed up in my backside, he would tell me to like turn over so he could just check it out, and like, okay. And it's a wonderful thing for like these young medical surgeon students to check out your backside every morning to make sure the incisions in your backside are healing okay and not getting infected, which is good. I don't want my backside to get infected, but everything was sealed up there besides the drainage ports. And there was one time someone mentioned the fact that it's like, okay, this is something like someone was telling a student. I think it was Bob. Bob was telling a student, now this is important for you to remember on your final exam, coming up in yada yada week. So apparently, my behind was going to be a subject matter for a final exam or something. I don't know how the medical school do their tests and stuff, but anyway, I was a subject of interest. But I was friendly. I was as accommodating as possible, and sometimes I would throw the joke out there. And the best joke I got though was on my last morning. I already built up a rapport with some of these medical students, and as well as this doctor, because over those 2 weeks, one of the reasons why it took 2 weeks for me to get home was because I had a hard time intaking food. It actually took 2 tries to take solid food, and it's like the first couple of tries, either it just hurt, or it wasn't going through, or I was like vomiting, and it just wasn't pretty. But finally I got food down and was able to maintain that, so they're like, okay, let's go home. So on the last morning that I was there, Bob comes in with students in tow in my room, and I'm just like, hi. And he's like, Mr. Wilkie, these are a lot of these are new students today. They haven't been in there. I'm like, okay, hello everybody. and so he explains Mr. Wilkie had a colectomy with a yada yada yada, all these medical terms for just everything getting removed and, you know, having this permanent ostomy. And so I turned to everybody and I'm like, yep. I'm like, I'll tell you what happened. I lost a bet. That was just a dry humor joke that I got. But what was funny was the fact that it went over Bob's head, this resident surgeon who's in charge of everybody. Bless his heart, because he really took good care of me. But it went over his head. And he's just like, what, a bet? I'm like, and so I had to explain the joke to him, like, yeah, I'm just saying that I had to go through all this because I lost a bet. It's a joke. And someone else, one of the students who knows him and was with me, was telling this person, Bob, you are so concentrating on the melancholy aspects of the work that you just have no sense of humor. And the guy still probably is like, it's probably gonna be like another week or two before he finally is like, oh, I get it. But it just, you know, went way over his head, and that just got all the students just erupting with laughter. And so I was happy on my final day to make everybody laugh in my room. the 6 to a dozen students that were in there. Anyway, okay, so yeah, that was the fun time at the hospital, and like most of the time, the nursing staff was very good. I know they had a lot of work to do, and there was a couple that were very, very nice, very special, and really kept me sane, being away from everybody, because of COVID, you're practically isolated. You can't really have too many guests. My wife came in as much as possible, but it wasn't enough. And I really wanted to get home. And I couldn't see my son at all during those times. So I was happy when I got home, and I've been home here for now. It's been almost a week and a half, 2 weeks, I think. And I mean, I'm taking less pain pills, and I'm able to move around better, and overall I feel a lot better. So my incisions are healing, not completely healed yet. I'm managing my ostomy. Yeah, everything is going well. Like I said, it's just now I have to deal with a permanent ostomy. Those are the breaks. I mean, sometimes things don't work out the way you have planned when it comes to your health, and you have to make the best of the situation that you have, and make the best of the cards that you're dealt with. And so instead of living in a state of woulda, coulda, shoulda, or despair, or you know, frustration or grief to what my situation is, and don't get me wrong, I've had moments where I have had that. Thank God I have people to pull me out of it just as quickly. But overall, I just concentrate on the most important thing, which is being able to be with my son and my wife, and be healthy and happier, because I was in the state of stress that I was in. I didn't realize how much stress I actually was living under, just having the incontinence problems that I had, like, over the course of these past few years. It was a lot, and just to be, I would say, free of that, it really makes a night day difference. And I look forward to the fact that this week I'll be able to walk my son to the park, and I haven't done that in years, so that's going to be a special thing. That is it, and I will definitely keep everybody tabs on how I'm doing, but I mean, I'm hoping all is going to be well. And I think I've talked through the whole the whole live stream, because I know we didn't do much, but this is it. You wanted to hear what I was saying anyway, more than this. I'm sure next week I'll have a lot more video track laid down to where there's going to be a lot more interesting things to see. With that, for those of you who are watching this on our Tales of Valhalla YouTube page, this is an edited down version of what is going to be a 30-minute live stream of me basically talking about my hospital experience. I'll try to fit in as much to this edited version on the Tales of Valhalla page as possible, but there probably will be some things I cut out. So if you want to see the full version, of this live stream, go to our Conductor Productions YouTube page, which should be a link in the screen in front of you sometime, and a link in the description below as well. And check us out. Please like, share, subscribe, and there are good things coming this way. Season 3 is not over yet, and I can't wait to show these episodes to you that are coming up in this 10-episode season. Everybody take care. I thank all of you for your support, prayers, and well wishes, as always. It's a lot easier knowing that you have a lot of people that care for you that have never even met you. So it's a very humbling thing, and I thank, and also friends I do know as well. You're all like family, so thank you so much. And so with that, I will bid you all adieu, and happy Wednesday night, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday when we work more on episode 4 of Tales of Valhalla. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Ow, I hit my hand. Later. Good night.